Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Catfish Weekly with Lyle Stokes, Doc Lang, myself, Chuck Davidson. How's it going tonight, Doc?
Pretty good. It's hot here in Ohio. The only thing that's cool are the gas prices are at 2.33 a gallon.
They're down to two here. They're going down, so
I
that
hope
looks
they
good.
stay that way.
Oh yeah, man. It seems like they just target us during the wrong times. Holidays. They know when people's going to be traveling, and they raise them and get their money when they can.
Yep. So it
So,
looks like a spawn is in full swing here in Ohio right now. So
did y'all go? Did you have a tournament last weekend?
nah. No, I was supposed to go one on the Ohio River, but there was just a little too much wood coming down that big river. West Virginia got pounded, and all that wood was coming down through there, and I decided not to go. Not worth getting $500-600 worth of transducers ripped off the back of the boat.
Yeah, it's I think the spawn's over here, but we're having, them afternoon thunderstorms where it has crazy pressure. Sometimes it'll trigger a bite. Sometimes you won't catch nothing. Um, yeah, we went out Sunday. It was blazing hot. Got one really good fish to the boat, and he was tangled up in my other line. He got off, and I didn't get another bite all day Sunday.
Mm,
So I think it was just because
yeah,
I
it's tough.
I was just relaxing and just trying to stay cool and wasn't pushing it too hard. I really didn't care if I really got a bite anyway. I was loving it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they the frog tog chill pad you put around your neck. Do you use those?
No, I've never used those.
Yeah,
They pretty good. You just get them wet. Is that all you do?
yeah, you get them wet and they keep the blood going through your neck cool. And it helps the cooling of your brain. I had two heat strokes at Desert Storm, and I've got to be really careful not to have another one.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's not too pretty, and I had them about a month apart. Both times, I came really close to having to leave and come back stateside because it was so bad. One time I was in for 3 days, the other time 5 days. But
Mm,
you know, I've got to be real careful out there, and they're saying that's the best thing for to keep from getting heat strokes, keeping that them arteries cool on the side of that neck and
yeah.
everything. So even having a bimini top out there Sunday, it was just unbelievably hot.
Yeah. We were on the water Saturday, and it was hot. And I had to bend me up, but we didn't catch no fish.
No, this that's what's weird down here. The spawn's supposed to be over, but I don't know. A lot of times they're still too weak and just don't have the energy because they've exhausted. They got to build their strength back a little at a time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yesterday they just wasn't wanting to cooperate at all. A few days before that, my brother caught was catching pretty good down on the couple of pools down. But
Mm,
you know how it goes. One day it's always yesterday or tomorrow.
yeah. What's the water temperature down your way right now?
87.
It's 85 up here.
Yeah, we had that good rain that I'm in the skinny water. They were running current pretty good. I'm sure the sloughs are just boiling.
Yeah.
So my next tournament's on 7/9 on Lake Wilson. We're going to be having a night tournament up there from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's 2.5 hours from the house, so that's going to be one because I'm not going to try that drive home. And that's the boat ramp. Did you ever hear about the vultures eating the rubber off of the windshields of the people's tires and around the windshield and stuff at the Wilson boat ramp? Did you hear about the
Not at the,
vultures?
not the Wilson. I always heard that happening in Virginia on the
No.
James. I heard that
Oh, it
they're doing
happened
it at
down here.
Wilson.
Yeah, it was in 2013. Safety Harbor, right there below Wheeler Dam. There's a little boat ramp. Um, you go on down from where you fish off the platform and all. Um, they had a bass tournament down there, and vultures just came in and tore up some bass fishermen's trucks. I mean, they were just all over it. They
What
were,
are they eating the rubber? Is that what they're doing?
yeah, the rubber gets hot, and they'll get down there and they'll just start pulling that rubber off from around that windshield and stuff. Anywhere there's rubber on a car, they start pulling at it.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that
it's
would
not
not be
good.
fun.
So I was thinking about, well, I was gonna, bring my hammock maybe, and sleep in my hammock, before I drove back. But with them vultures out there, I'm just gonna lean on back in the truck seat and snooze that way, I guess.
Wow.
A 2.5 hour drive home at 2 in the morning. That I just wouldn't be able to handle it by myself.
Yeah.
No way.
Wow. Yeah, Daniel Kennedy, he just posted saying, haven't had any luck in the past week in Illinois. So I don't know if anybody else is doing any good anywhere. There was a tournament on the Ohio River. It went out of Tanner's Creek. I didn't get any of the results from it, but I do know that there was 80 some pounds of fish for first and 80 something for second, and a 39-pound big fish was caught, but I didn't get any details anymore on it. So if that's the case, then it's and I know the big fish was a flathead, so it's 39 pounds. But the water was way up. I mean, it was way up. Said there was enough wood that you could walk from the Indiana bank over to Kentucky bank. That's a lot of wood
Wow.
coming down through there. You know, anytime you see that water raise that quick, the you know that it always sweeps all that wood that's along the bank. It just sweeps it right off.
Yeah, it's those deadheads. They're really, really dangerous. Um, they'll take you out in a minute.
Yeah, yeah. I've had a few of those trees come sliding right up the anchor line. That does make you pucker when that happens. That is not fun at all. Once a tree comes off your anchor rope, then you got the boat to contend with.
Yeah, yeah. It's really, you got to really stay on your toes that way. Um, that's a good way to get in trouble. I've been close a couple of times. Um, and it's real scary, especially at nighttime.
Yeah, and see, I don't even know how people even handle it at night. That would drive me crazy. I wouldn't even want to be out there.
Yep. Tony Caton he just meshes headed to the James this weekend to buy his own. Yeah, the out on the East Coast, they seem to be catching pretty good down in the Virginia area, South Carolina. So hopefully, I mean, just in Alabama, there's just not a whole lot of fishermen down here, that go out catfishing. So that's hard for me to tell if I'm not able to go out myself and not seeing posts if people's catching or not. You know, and these other
Yeah,
places that people go, frequent. A lot of the other states, man, that's just catfishing is dominant up in those areas.
yeah.
And down here, there's 5 bass tournaments at every boat ramp every weekend, and you can't find a catfish tournament nowhere. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, so
And
it's
you
it's
got
hard. Yeah, it's hard for me to stay up on if the catfish are biting or not down here. I just got to go out and give it a try if I want to find
find
out. I
it
guess.
yourself.
Oh yeah,
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing because you got some wonderful water down there.
yeah. This pool I'm on, there was a fish weighed in 2008. They said it weighed 114 pounds. But when DNR weighed it hours later, um, they had it out of the water. All that probably didn't have any slime coat left on it. It was 104.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Um, yeah, which the Warrior River has skipjack in it. It's connected with you can lock through all the way to the Gulf. So it's got, skipjack can make their total run through locks. They can get back and forth to the ocean until they get to Smith Lake. But the new state record, 120 pounds, was caught out of the Warrior. And,
Oh, okay.
we also got, the four lakes of the Tennessee River in North Alabama. So we got Gunnersville, Wheeler, Wilson, and Pickwick. The state record come out of Warrior. There's not a catfish coming down here to really, um, to show off what's going on down here.
Yeah,
After the state record was caught, Cabela's come down on the Warrior River, tried to have a tournament, and it ended up being one of those times where the fish wasn't biting worth the crap. You couldn't buy a bite, so they
yeah,
wasn't able to, show off what kind of fishery it is. And that's how it usually happens. Finally tournament when you're able to show off your waters. It's always a bad bite, a deep front coming through on you. Um, but there's some really good waters down here if we could just get the catfishing where we need it.
yeah. Ricky Poole, he just posted Tennessee 2 had three huge takedowns on Saturday night, but came up empty-handed.
Story of my life.
Yeah, I know all about it.
Magicians, man, they can get a skipjack head off of a double hook rig and not get a point. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Hmm. Yeah, you're kind of fading in and out every now and then. I don't know if it's, I've had all kinds of issues with my computer, so I've been last two or three shows, I've had to use my phone. And actually, last week, as we were wrapping things up, the phone even quit. So I'm gonna have to take a look and see if I got a. I know my router's new, but I'm gonna look into taking a look at this modem and see if I can get something changed.
Yeah, you can check your connections too. If you got DSL, you might want to check your communication cable. Make
Yeah,
sure that the I had one that drove me crazy, and it took me 3 months to figure it out. The cable company came out and checked and everything, and it drove me crazy, and I ended up finding it myself.
hmm.
What's your next tournament you're looking forward to?
I'm not sure. Uh, Most of the tournaments right now that are in my area fall on the weekend that I have to work.
Oh yeah,
Uh, right now, probably the Monsters on the Mississippi is my next one.
oh yeah, that's about everybody's most favorite this year, I believe, because it's going to be new, so everybody's looking forward to it. I mean, just fishing on the Mississippi River, so, one of the bucket lists that I'm dying to do and get out on the James before that fishery. The Potomac, I want to get out there bad also, but the Mississippi River, I don't think it can be damaged as fast as those fisheries over there. But
I'm looking forward to fishing down there this year. I've never been there in September. The last time I was there was like June, and man, that was some cranking current.
yeah, was you down in the Memphis area?
Yeah, yeah. We fished. I think it was a Bass Pro tournament, the championship. It was a 2 day. That's a year that uh, can't even think of his name now. Phil King came in with 100 pounder on day one, and uh, following day, can't remember who it was, come in with another 100 pounder that topped Phil's fish.
Oh yeah, it's
So
108, I think.
yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that right there. I mean, that's just unbelievable. There's
Yeah,
been some.
that was pretty amazing because that was the first time I'd ever seen a 100 pound fish. Lynn's was close, hers being 88. But it, when I looked at that 100 pounder in there, it made Lynn's look like a minnow.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's some very. There's some big. There was one tournament. I can't remember what circuit it was, but three guys tied for first place, and I believe that was on the Mississippi River too. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember because I think,
They tied for
uh,
first.
yeah, Jeff Dodd and I don't remember who the others were, but yeah, that that's that'd be wild, when you think about it.
Yeah, they
You think you got, man, I got a good weight here. You get to the weigh in, and somebody else has got the same thing you have.
exactly. And the three people do it. You know,
Yeah, it just, just what are the odds of, seeing that?
they said they took first, second, third place, put them together, and divided it three ways. I mean, but
uh,
how? I mean, to there's got to be a winner. You got to figure out a way before these events happen, in case something like that happens, to by the big fish or something. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. I don't think that will ever happen again.
yeah, yeah. So, oh, I'm sure it'll happen again at some point. It's like breaking a record. So,
Yeah, I mean a
hey,
three-way tie at 200 pounds. I believe it was. I think it was up in the 200-pound too.
yeah,
I think it was like
Cliff
213 pounds three ways or something.
Cliff Miller just posted, "Where is Lyle this evening?" Well, Lyle has got a real bad cough, and he's just kind of staying off the air. He's letting me and Chuck sit here and wing it. So he's there. He's just not saying anything. He's watching, but he's not saying anything.
Yeah, the I believe the Monsters of the Ohio is really going to be. This is going to be a good breakout year for that tournament. I believe. I'm really expecting a good weigh in this year. I just got a good feeling about it.
Yeah, It'd be interesting to see how he does his trailering. That has got, he's going to allow trailering this year, and that's going to be the first time. It'd be interesting to see how he does that.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, it just sounds like a logistic nightmare because they're going to have three ramps that you can, one of them's going down river, the other one's going up river, and then you have the main ramp right there in Owensboro.
Right. Yep. And everybody coming back together at one weigh in.
Yeah,
Right now, the way you're coming out of the water, and everything's just smooth. You know.
yeah,
Um, now you're gonna have a line of boats trying to leave, and more boats trying to come in the parking lot. I don't know. They'll have it worked out where it's gonna be smooth.
oh yeah. Aaron's, he does a great job, and he's done a great job from day one, and it's gotten better. I just like the fact that it goes so smooth from the time you get there in the morning to where we launch. He's never had any hiccups.
No, it's really smooth. Every boat's checked one at a time, and it doesn't slow down things down one bit. Um, yeah, I like the way both times I went, I was very happy at the whole event, everything.
Yeah, sitting there
Lyle
looking
probably
at the
working on
chat.
some secrets for the next.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's Lyle's back there in the background taking notes. Let's see.
uh, so I'm hoping that this heat will finally go down a little bit, and get the it'll start to turn the fish on. Our weather up here is calling for 70 degrees midweek. Um, a lot of times that'll kick them in and make them really go. So even if they are on the spawn, because I know Cabela's has a big tournament coming up at the end of July out of Portsmouth, Ohio. So that's going to be a good tournament. Unfortunately, I have to work that weekend, so I won't be able to go fishing.
Yeah, well, you got to work every other weekend.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like
Yeah,
every other weekend is always when the tournaments are. They're always on my work weekends. So
yeah, I had to
limit,
do that.
yeah, limited amount of vacations, and I got to save my vacation, for some of the tournaments I like to go to. I almost for the last 2 years I've gone to Tennessee in April or May and just fish for a week and usually fish the Cabela's tournament during that time. But I think next year we're just going to go and we're going to go again in either April or May. But we're not. I don't think we're going to fish the tournament. We're just going to chase fish because we had a blast chasing the fish this past year down there in
Kingston.
Tennessee. Yeah, we were in Kingston, but I think we're going to stay below. We're going to fish around Chattanooga in that area. I'm going to stay below Watts Bar. I like the looks of that water down there. I love Kingston area. Don't get me wrong. There's a ton of ledges and stuff like that in there, but I just want to try another part of the Tennessee River.
Nickajack is beautiful.
Yeah, so yeah, I really like Kingston. We got this one area where it's uh, it's got a major ledge, and I've got a real good picture of it. It comes off 15 foot of water. It's a flat coming off of the bank, and it comes out maybe about 50, 60 yards, and it's just a flat. It's 15 foot deep, and then all of a sudden you hit the ledge, and it drops from 15 and goes right to 45, and them fish hang right against that ledge. They're using it as a highway. This year I pulled a. It was the first time I'd ever pulled a flathead while I was dragging. I've never caught a flathead drifting or dragging until this year, and I pulled a 45-pound flathead that hit a dragon rig. That was it was way back behind the boat too. So
Hey,
it took me forever to get that guy in there.
Caden, that one up we had him.
What's that? What's that, Chuck?
Um, oh, Tony Caton said was asking if there was any big channel cats in my waters.
Oh,
Um, no, Tony. It just seems like the blues are so it takes the dominance away from the channels. We've got some highland reservoirs that have channel cats in them, and they get really big. I've caught a 17 pounder. Put some striped bass and stuff in there, but the waters down here that's loaded with blue cats, we just have a hard time getting big channels to the channels to get big. You might catch one 8, 10, 12 pounds, but up around 15 sometimes, but for some reason they just don't want to get big down here with all these blues.
hmm. Now is skip and shad the primary down there? Is that the primary bait?
Yeah, carp and sucker's really good. um, you know a lot of people still use bluegill cut and live, but primary the for real oily base, skipjack and shad and sucker is about the three oiliest that I come in with.
Yeah.
There's been reports of gold eye and moon eye up in some tributaries and stuff like that, but there's just I don't think they're populated enough where you can actually just go catch them. You know,
Yeah.
they show up at them check stations, but I don't think that there's huge populations like there is in the north.
You see what Daniel Kennedy just posted?
What's that? Oh yeah, you can camp on my pier or in the back. They they don't allow tent camping here, but if you've got a lot here, family and friends can camp in your yard. But I'm always willing to have people come camp. Uh, we have a good time down here on this river.
Me and Daniel may head your way then
Oh yeah,
next year.
yeah, that's good. The Coosa River, I'm on the lake that Steve Douglas had that monster event on a few years ago. That $500 entry, Monsters on Logan Martin.
Yeah.
I'm on that body of water, but I'm up on the skinny part. It's shaped about like Wheeler. Half of it's river, and the lower end's like a lake.
Got you.
But I'd rather live on the river than the lake any day.
Yeah. I'd rather fish a river than a lake. Though as I'm getting closer to retirement, the lakes around here are starting to look pretty good because they're close by and I don't have to travel so far.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna fish, matter of fact, if I'm gonna fish a lake, I can go on the pool above me, and I can get there faster than I
Really? Wow.
so close to the dam. I can just go above up in Neely Henry. It's a really good body of water, also.
Yeah. You guys have big stripers down that area too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm not fishing the tournament, I love catching them things. This last tournament that we fished at Cabela's, I think Daniel and I caught like 18 stripers, and we had like 4 or 5 of them that were over 30 pounds. They were big.
Oh yeah, man. They're so much fun, and I don't think I heard they even spawn wide open. They never slow down for no reason. They're
Shoot,
always wide open.
yeah, when they pick up a bait, they're wide open, all right.
Oh yeah,
Boy,
they're always wide
when
open.
you, yeah, when you get done, you got 6 rods that are all tangled together, and then it's like they know, well, I'll just tie it all into a nice little knot here, so you can keep don't have any rods anywhere for a while.
Oh yeah, so anytime you want to come down, just come on down.
Okay.
Some of them guys, from Wheeler to Owensboro, I think it's only 3.5 hours, and a lot of guys like, man, if I lived in Alabama, I'd fish Wheeler all the time. I mean, the guys from Owensboro could probably get to Wheeler in about the same amount of times it takes me from where I live.
Yeah, I think Adam told me it's only 4 hours, and and that's coming from Owensboro.
Yeah,
I think he told me it was like 4 hours to Wheeler.
yeah, it's not a bad drive at all, and it takes me right around 3, and
Yeah,
then take me about 3 hours 45 minutes
it's
to get
9
to
for
Wilson.
yeah. So that's coming right straight down 75 too.
Yeah, if you hit Nickajack, I think you will love Nickajack. It's a beautiful lake. Chattanooga is a really nice town to visit. Got a very nice aquarium, riverboat. You'll
Yeah,
really enjoy Nickajack.
Cliff Miller's asking, so any updates on the Mississippi River monsters, boat numbers, updated prices? Not that we know of right now, Cliff. Actually, we need to get George back on here so we can find out, what all is going on with that tournament.
Yeah, I don't know any updates on that at all. Every once in a while, I'll see where some people signed up, but I I don't even know how many people signed up now.
Yeah. No, I don't have a clue. I'm with Lyle, so I don't even know what boat number he is. I think he's in the top 10.
129 boats.
How much? 129?
That's how many people. Yeah, so far.
Hmm.
Phil King's 99, so Phil King's going finally. I've been trying to fish against him, and he's always working. He works so much he can't fish,
Yeah,
and he saves vacation days to guide these uh, these certain individuals that's been guiding with him for years, and he uses a lot of his vacation up in the fall and takes these repeat customers out.
yeah. Got
So
to do what you got to do. You got to work. Yeah, the yeah, yeah. We're number 10. Okay, thanks, Lyle. Uh, yeah, I know this work thing gets in the way, but and I'm still. At least my health is good. I hope it stays that way. Because I sure do love getting out on the boat.
yeah, man, I couldn't fish without working.
So yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's not cheap like it was years ago. I remember 20 years ago, back in the 90s. Man, it wasn't nothing for me to leave on a Friday night and stay down on the river and come back on Sunday.
yeah, but
Now, now I'm lucky to make it one day.
yeah, I mean, I can't really do both. I can't fun fish as much as I used to fishing tournaments because you gotta put money back um, to go off to these tournaments. You know, when I wasn't finished tournaments, I could fish a couple of days during the week after work. Um, every weekend. I mean, but even living right here on the lake, I don't go out here as much as I used to. But I used to go to a different lake every weekend, just about.
Yeah,
And fishing these tournaments, if I did that, I wouldn't have money to fish the tournaments.
yeah. I enjoy the tournament fishing. I'm really starting to enjoy it. My grandkids are to the point where they're like to be on the boat. So I'm to the point now where I enjoy taking them out. We have a tournament here in let's see, it's the first weekend in August, and it's a 4 day. It starts at 12 noon on a Thursday and goes to 12 noon on Sunday, and all you do is catch one fish, and the biggest fish takes the pot, and they pay down like 20 places. And my grandkids for the last 3 years have been coming like in first and third. And I mean, last year I had every one of them. I had five. I took five of them, and I put every one of them into either they won money or they won a new fishing pole. So it was kind of cool, because they recognized me. That I was up. I'd come home, and then I'd take another set of grandkids up the following day, and I'd come home, and then I'd take another set. So it it was a lot of fun, and the kids, they love it. So So this year I'm taking my granddaughters. I'm taking three of my granddaughters and two of my grandsons this year. So, but I'm only going to do 2 days of it. That got really hard doing 4 days of it last year. So I'm only going to just do 2 days of it. But it's a lot of fun because I don't have to pick up a rod or anything. All I got to do is throw them out there, let the kids sit there and watch them. And they start grabbing the rods. So a lot of fun. Grandpa really likes it. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun when I do that.
Have you heard anything else about the Catfish Conference next year,
No, other
2017?
no. Uh, I'm going to be giving a seminar, and it's going to be on Lowrance depth finders, how to set them up, what to do, how to do it, that kind of stuff. I do know I talked to Steve Douglas, and he said that we should, it's going to be a 2 day deal this year. And it's not bad. I think he said it was going to be $5 a day or something like that. But I know, I think he's got a lot of seminars scheduled for that 2 days. So it ought to be awesome next year.
Yeah, maybe Lyle will give me a break where I can go see one or two of them.
Yeah. So, well, now that I'm with the group, maybe we can just have two of us there, and we'll just keep switching. Each of us keep switching out, so we can go catch some of these seminars.
Yeah, that'd be
I
great.
enjoyed them last year. So,
Yeah, that's too much information to be passing up. You got to see
oh
it.
yeah,
That's worth the
yeah,
whole trip right there.
yeah. I enjoyed myself last year. My biggest thing was, seeing James Patterson. I fished a bunch of years against him, and I really learned a lot from him. And boy, it was just a thrill for me when he hollered at me and he come walking up there, and so everybody was looking at us. We're both standing in the aisle there, hugging on each other. Two grown men, but we hadn't seen each other in a long time, and you know, those are bonds that you make with fishermen that you just can't imagine what the feeling was seeing him. And for me, it was great. That made my day. Just going down there, that was my highlight for the weekend.
Yeah, man. I think it's going to get you know a lot bigger, especially after the word got out last year that everybody that didn't go wish they would have now because that ended up being really something good. That's what's
Yeah,
going to make it better because it's going to be something that you don't want to miss.
yeah,
Um, guys from Arizona came out, New Mexico, California. Um, people was coming from everywhere you know, just because it's catfishing. I mean, it's a big
yeah.
deal.
It's
And
going to be a little bit easier because it's going to be right there at the airport. If somebody wants to fly in, they can just fly in, and boom, they're there. It's like Steve said. Once you're there, you don't have to leave for anything because everything's right there that you need.
oh yeah, yeah, it's great.
Also, something else we need to mention that Paul Strauss still needs a lot of our prayers. Uh, I haven't heard any update on him at all. Haven't seen anything, so I don't. Maybe somebody here in the chat knows anything that's going on. Please put it up there, and we'll say it. You know, but keep him and his family in your prayers, please.
Yeah, yesterday he was fighting fever and um, infection in his arms, and he's just having so many surgeries and all.
Yeah,
It's it's going to be a hard fight, but they're going to need all the help they can get. This is going to cost them a lots of money. She's going to be standing there with him, for months, months, and months, and they still got a house back in Knoxville that they have to pay for with a daughter there. So
Yeah.
It's going to be, they're going to need all the help we can give them. Okay, we got there's a Twisted Cat outdoor on July 9th, in Warsaw, Illinois, with $2,000 added money. What do you think about that?
Wow.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah, Alex is doing an awesome job with the trail. He's these are really this is really pumping the cat guys up out that way, man. They're loving this stuff. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. And Daniel's got the one coming up, the Alabama Catfish Trail. I was talking about the one on Wilson 7-9. Um, we really need a good turnout for that one. It's going to be 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. going out of Safety Harbor. So if y'all want to get down here to the Tennessee River and do some good night fishing, come on down and fish with us. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the guys just posted on here, and this again, we cannot stress enough that safety is number one thing when you're on a boat. Cliff Miller posted that they had a boat go through the Keokuk Dam this past Saturday. Said it went through an open gate, came out the other side. One of the guys is still missing. So, yeah, guy, just wear them PFDs and just know your surroundings. Your things can change in a heartbeat.
Yeah, just cause you can swim don't mean you don't need that life vest on. So especially at nighttime when you're going down the river, you never know when there's going to be a log up underwater about 6 inches or whatever. So anytime that boat motor's running, have that life vest on. Um, you know it. Your grandkids need you around because somebody's going to need to teach them how to fish for catfish. So that's a
Yeah,
big motivation for me. That grandson, I used to do some pretty stupid things that I've been getting away with for years, but since Leanne's grandson's been around, um, I'm just real cautious everything I do because I know that he needs me here because I'm the last resort he's got that you know the woodsy and the water stuff. There's no fishermen or hunters or none of that. And boy, he needs me bad. I got to be here. I don't
yeah,
want to be one of them statistics out there on the river that somebody says, "Man, he was a dumbass." Because more or less, I mean, when people say that, it's most of the time it's true. They had no business doing what they were doing, and that they just thought it couldn't happen to them.
yeah.
And
Well,
safety
that kind of
first.
stuff happens so quick. That's the thing. It just happens so quick, no matter what. Motor dies out. Matter of seconds. Especially if you're below a dam. It's got them hydraulics and it's constantly pulling you back anyway.
Yeah, you know, back a few winters ago, when Jason Bridges fell in below the dam throwing for skipjack, getting ready to take some clients out. He fell off the front of his boat in very, very frigid waters. And he said if he wouldn't have had a ladder on the back of his boat, having that 100-mile-an-hour suit on, there's no way he could have got back in that boat.
Hmm.
And like he said, he's done it 1,000 times, and he never thought it could ever happen to him.
Yeah,
But boom, one of the best guides in the country takes a tumble off the front of his boat. Um, that it can happen to anybody at any time.
yeah, yeah. Cliff just posted it. He said Lyle knows what that dam is like inside. They had over a dozen gates open. I guess the guys had motor issues. Oh, yep, just can't stress enough. I've got the new PFD, the automatic PFD that I wear now, and I'm to the point now where I very seldom don't have it on. You know, if I go to throw the cast net on the front, I've got it on. Whenever I go to deploy my trolling motor, I've got it on. And my biggest rule is if the big motor is running, you know, everybody wears a PFD.
All right. Um, we've been at it for about 45 minutes, and I know I'm wore out, man. I don't know about you, but you got any closing statements? And what's that tip of the week, Doc? You got one for us tonight?
Yeah, well, the only closing statement I'll have is uh, there's a tournament on end of July. It's a Cabela's tournament. It's going out of Portsmouth. Anybody that wants to go to it, uh, it's Portsmouth, Ohio, and it's on the Ohio River. Doc's tip for the night. We're halfway through the fishing season, and I fish all year long. I don't fish as much winter as I used to because I'm getting older and the cold bothers me. But my tip tonight is your rod holders. Usually about halfway through the season, what I like to do is I like to take my rod holders off. Now, it doesn't matter if they're monsters or if you're running drift masters, but unscrew these things. And this is one I just took off, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of rust starting to get on end threads. And what I'll do is I'll take them all off. I'll take a wire brush or a wire wheel that's on a grinder, and I'll clean these off. And if the threads are damaged, I can run a dye down on them. This is a half 13 course thread. Uh, where it fits into, that's a half 13 course. You can run a tap in there to clean those out. Um, because I like to change depending on how I'm drifting or if I'm anchored, I like to change the position of them. But if these things start to lock up and gall up, they're really tough to get on and off. So halfway through the season, I take them off, I clean them up. A lot of times I'll put a little bit of Never-Cease on there just to make sure that they'll, come off. The one thing you don't want to do is really crank down on that half-inch nut that holds that stem in place, because what you're going to do is you're going to take those threads that are in that aluminum that are holding it onto your boat, and you'll stretch it. So, just snug these things up good and tight, and you'll be good to go. And that's Doc's tip for the night. And that's all I got, Chuck.
Okay. All right, Lyle. Well, we're about through for the night. So if you want to, Lyle, fall asleep on us. Hey, there's Ian. What are you doing, man?
He can't talk. He's still talking up a storm.
Dude, I'm
Yeah,
such a
sick.
cold. I just figured it would be better if I didn't do anything and let you guys knock it out tonight. A good job. Sitting here hacking and coughing, and nobody wants to hear that stuff. But uh, you know, uh, Ricky Poole had posted in here about George Young placing a post on the on the Facebook last week about a catfish circuit, and I have heard about this. I don't know too much about it yet, and George will elaborate on it at some time down the road. And I know that Steve has something in the works. I know nothing about that. I know some guys met with him and they had a little conversation and stuff, but other than that, that's about the extent of that. But catfishing, tournament catfishing is on its way to the top. When we just need to let the guys do what they need to do and not do a lot of arguing and fighting and just keep supporting everybody that we can.
Exactly.
So, you guys about ready to close her out for the night?
Yep, we're done.
We're done.
Okay, for Chuck Davis and Doc Lang, I'm Lyle Stokes, and we'll see you next week on Catfish Weekly.